Welcome back, guys. This is phase 4 of Six-Pack Shortcuts, the final phase to finish off this program.
Okay, Mike, so let's talk about phase 4. What are we trying to accomplish in phase 4?
Get six-pack abs.
Yeah, finally. Here we go.
So the purpose of phase 4 is basically to get those last pounds of fat off your waistline, to actually reveal the six-pack abs that you want.
Okay, so how are we going to be accomplishing this goal?
Well, the phase 4 workouts are going to be very different than the other ones for a lot of different reasons. One reason really is because phase 4 is actually the phase you're going to stay in, and the workouts you're going to continue to do on a long-term basis. But the phase 4 workouts are going to include things like active rest. And what active rest is basically when you're usually resting, you're usually just standing around and just taking a breather and kind of catching your breath and regaining your strength back. But active rest is basically to where you're resting, but you're still doing another activity that's not directly the same workout. It's not directly the same exercise.
Yeah.
So, for example, you'll find that in the workout program, when you're working on back, active rest would be maybe doing prone cobras on the ground. And when you go through the videos, you'll know exactly what I mean. But it's basically another exercise that stimulates your back. So this way, you're not a full rest. You're in an active rest. And that actually really helps get those last pounds of fat off the waistline.
Yeah, and I find that's, like the real high level workout and something that which can be done, for the long term to maintain your six pack.
Definitely. And also in phase 4, you're going back to individual body parts again. And remember in phase 3, you're doing a lot of compound heavy movements, working on the entire body a lot. But now you're going back to individualize and concentrating on certain muscle groups on certain days. And that's going to be what you're going to do for the long term to maintain the six-pack abs and to maintain the body that you want.
Yeah, definitely. And that, that's what's necessary. You got to have the rest of the body part to do this long term. But, keep in mind, as you said before, anytime you do hit a plateau, you can always go back to phase 3 and shock yourself out of it.
Definitely. So phase 3 and phase 4 are pretty much what you're going to use for a very long time to maintain your results. Also in phase 4, we're at the final phase, so this is also the final stage for the full implementation of the zero willpower eating system. You have to go ahead and actually follow everything as planned, as designed. There's no more taking steps because we are there now. So you have to make sure you're eating the 4 to 5 meals to where you're also concerned about the liquid calories now. You want to make sure that as you're drinking things, you have to make sure that your calories aren't excessive. A lot of people will go ahead and drink extra calories and they don't really consider it to be food. It's just, it's kind of like water. Well, that's what they think, but extra calories are going to be a concern on that. Social situations, things like that. So full implementation of the zero willpower eating system is definitely now required to get those last inches off your waistline and to really get those abs to come out.
Okay, so let's talk about exactly how we're going to reveal the six-pack abs. For the workout, what do we have to do to make that happen?
Well, the workouts are a lot more intense now because of the active rest. So you're constantly moving around a lot more. You'll find that you're going to be doing a workout, you're going to be doing an active rest, which actually cuts down your real rest period. There's going to be a lot more direct ab exercises now. So really bring out those definitions. You'll find that you're burning more calories in the actual workout. You're still going to have the afterburn effect, but in the actual workout itself, it's going to be more intense, more calorie burning. So this way we can make sure that those last few pounds are gone. Yeah,
definitely. And another thing I really like about phase 4 is a lot more variety of exercises.
Right.
Where in like phase 1 or phase 2, that would be kind of a drawback because there's more stuff you have to learn. But in phase 4, I feel it's like a real big advantage because you know all this stuff now, and now it gives you a lot of different things which you can be doing in the long term.
And the reason I did that is because remember, you're going to stay in phase 4 for a very long time, so that's why we threw in more variety. So this way your body doesn't plateau, because if you're doing the same thing day in, day out, it's only another few weeks before your body will plateau. So that's why you'll see that even though there's days to where you're working on certain things, certain body parts, and the other days you're working on same body parts but different exercises. So we included a lot more exercise in phase 4 for the use of long term.
Yeah, definitely. And another thing I really like about phase 4 is you're implementing all parts of the zero willpower eating system. So you're really taking your nutrition to an elite level. And of course, in return for that, you're getting really elite level six-pack abs results.
Right. And when you have full implementation of the zero willpower eating system, you now created a new lifestyle of eating habits. This isn't something that you're gonna just do short run, and when you don't want six-pack abs anymore, you're just gonna start eating junk food. I mean, this is now something that you can do for the rest of your life. And again, I want to emphasize, I've been using this system for 8 years now, and I can't go back to eating regular foods. It's just, it doesn't feel right. I'll gain a lot of weight and just be like everybody else. And with this eating system, again, it's so simple. Once it's full implemented, I mean, you don't even have to really consciously think about doing things. It's just habits now. So it's a total lifestyle change, and it's gonna really, really make sure that the body fat doesn't come back, that you're able to keep your six-pack abs, for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and I haven't been doing it as long as you. I've been doing it for about 6 months now, but even now I feel like, I can't go back. Like, I physically cannot go back, because if I go like more than a few days without following the system, then I don't feel right, my body just like rejects the food. I have no energy, so like, I get punished every time I deviate.
We're used to the amount of energy. We're used to the feeling of always feeling good, because our nutrients are so good. Our nutritions are so on key now because of the system. So you'll see the same thing. If you try to ever get off the system, you'll realize how different it is, and you'll actually realize how big the benefits actually was when you were following the plan.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about that. What exactly do you mean by total implementation of the zero willpower system?
Well, total implementation basically means you're following all the guidelines now. You're eating the 4 to 5 meals. You're making sure that every meal has the protein and carbs. You're keeping your calories low. The 5 rules that we went over, you're basically following everything that was designed. So this way you can get the optimum results, instead of just kind of doing half of it and getting half results. Because remember, you're into phase 4. You're in the last phase of this program. So everything is required now to be on key for you to go ahead and get the body that you want. I want to talk about something. A lot of people are, ask, well, man, I mean, it's kind of tough to go into full implementation sometimes. There's a lot of things to learn, and I want you to think about it this way. When you look around, there's a reason why, not everybody has six-pack abs. There's a reason why not everybody look, the way you want to look, right? I mean, majority of the people are out of shape. Majority of people have health problems. Majority of people, have the guts and and that's because they follow, just regular eating habits. It's like the norm. So make sure you want to be different. And that's the reason why you have this program, so you can stand out, so you can get the six-pack abs, so you can be, the elite, right? The top percent that have the body that they actually want. So just remember that when you're doing the full implementation, because there's a lot of different things that are now in place that sometimes takes a little bit getting used to. But just remember, if you follow the system, you'll get lean, you'll get the six-pack abs, but it is a little different than some of the what everybody else is doing. But also is the reason why you're gonna look different than everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. And I think if you're doing 5 of the zero willpower meals a day, then you're gonna have like an excellent physique. People will be very impressed. But if you have those 5 zero willpower meals a day, and about snacking and how to handle negative social situations and alcohol and like all the littler topics which still matter but aren't as important as the meals, that's when you go from like having an excellent physique to having a physique where you take off your shirt and people are like, oh my god,
right,
like, holy crap, like you're gonna get that holy crap physique if you really master this stuff.
And don't forget about rule number 5 of the eating habits. You get 80-20. You're still operating on 80% good eating habits and 20% pretty much whatever you want. So just remember, as you're going into full implementation, you're actually still fully doing only 80%, because the other 20% of eating, drinking, things like that, you're still pretty much free to do what you want. So again, this is a lifestyle change, and that's why the 80-20 was implemented, because it creates balance.
Yeah, and I think one funny thing that's going to happen once you have full implementation and you're using the 80-20 rule is that a lot of people are just going to assume you have really good genetics, because they see you and because you have that 20%, they see that you can drink and you can go out and eat with friends normally, and from their perspective it's going to seem like you're eating just like them but just getting much better results.
People are always asking us, and they're like, oh man, y'all guys are just genetically blessed, because and I never see Asians look like that, and and we see you getting hammered and drinking and having a good time, and yeah, it doesn't show on you at all. I eat a burger and I'm gaining all this weight. And so what they see is that 20%. They don't see the 80. So again, it's a great lifestyle to have this system in place, and it creates that awesome balance.
Yeah, definitely. And whenever somebody says that, that's a good time to pull out your before and after picture and show them that
Exactly.
you're not, and to inspire them to get six-pack abs as well.
Definitely.
Okay, so this is obviously going to be really exciting to finally get those like defined six-pack abs. But what are those final pitfalls that guys have to watch out for?
Well, again, in every stage, one of the pitfalls is following that zero willpower eating system to go into full implementation. I had to stress that this is very, very important that you do. But again, even though we need to make sure that everything is in line now, but if you can't get to those 5 meals, or you're still at the 4, just keep going, because you're almost there. Don't give up. You're almost there. You're almost to where you're following everything to a T. And and those are just kind of some of the pitfalls. It's kind of tough sometimes. I understand. Again, I've been doing this for 8 years, but I can still remember how it used to feel like, and I can see when I'm working with people how sometimes they go into some of these ruts to where they're like, man, I don't know if I can get that last change. It's so weird. It's so different. So don't worry. Just keep going, and again, continue to progress. That is the key to gain the body that you want.
Yeah, on the one hand, in one sense it's the hardest because you have to learn the most additional stuff in this phase.
Right.
But in another sense, I actually think this is the easiest, because even though you have to learn more stuff, you're seeing results like immediately. Like you're going to see the results from, like 2 or 3 pounds of body fat. It's going to be very, very visible. So you really get instant gratification for everything you learn.
Definitely. Another thing that you want to watch out in this phase is to make sure you don't neglect the active rest. The active rest is in place to make sure that you burn those last few pounds. So if you skip that, you're going to see that the results are going to come out different. The last thing you want to basically make sure is that you didn't just do this to get ready for a vacation, or to get ready for a wedding, get ready for a spring break, or something like that. You want to make this part of your lifestyle. I've talked to many guys who always come up to me and they're like, hey Mike, I want to go ahead and get in shape. I got 3 months, and I got this thing I'm getting ready for, and it's all good. That's a good reason to get started and get going. But a lot of times I ask them, I was like, all right, well that's good, so let's get you in shape, and what are you gonna do afterwards? And usually I'm expecting an answer like, well, continue to exercise. But you'll be surprised at how many guys go, well, I don't know. I mean, I haven't thought that far. They just can only see 3 months down right there, and after that, they haven't really planned to make this part of their lifestyle. So you want to make sure that you can make this as part of your lifestyle, and that's why the system was designed to be simple, to be very convenient, and very easy to follow. So this way you can do this as a lifestyle change, instead of just running through this program, getting the good results, and then going back to the old body that you had, and going back to old habits.
Yeah, exactly. And I really want to stress that the best way to get into shape is to never get out of shape in the first place. I mean, if all you're doing is just maintaining what you have, that's pretty easy. I mean, you still have to do some stuff, but pretty much, relative to like gaining muscle or like losing a lot of fat, you're coasting. It's not hard. But,
Definitely.
you don't want to make life hard on yourself by, constantly like backsliding, then have to drag yourself back up, and backsliding, drag yourself back up. Example of that is a lot of the guys I train jiu-jitsu with. They get in awesome shape for a tournament, they get down to their target weight, and then afterwards they don't train for a month, and they eat like crap, and they lose all the progress they made over the past 6 months.
Right.
And it's stupid, because you never make any long-term progress like that.
It's like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
It's like a diet. It's only temporary. The zero willpower eating system, it's not temporary. It's a lifestyle change. That's why guidelines are implemented like that. So
yeah, definitely. So make sure you implement that as a lifestyle. So let's talk about some of the other results that guys can expect if they successfully complete phase 4. What's going to go down if they succeed with this?
Well, it's an exciting part, because when you finish this phase, you're going to get that six-pack that you set out for. You're going to get the smaller waistline now. Your waistline is going to decrease, your body fat is going to decrease significantly, and not just in your abs that you see. You probably saw that if you went ahead and followed the other phases, that you see the jawline starting to come out in your face. You're seeing a definition in your arms, in your chest, everywhere. It's a total transformation. One of the most awesome things about Phase 4 and also about this program is after you get the results, automatically you become an inspiration to somebody else. Somebody that's close to you that has kind of seen the changes. You know, now you are just walking billboard. You are now this walking proof that you can do what you want. Everybody can get the body that they want. So I want to kind of go over this a little bit because at this point, you're now can have the power to inspire somebody, to really change somebody's life, just like yours have changed. From being able to accomplish what you did and be able to get the body that you set out weeks ago to get. So it's an awesome feeling, and I definitely want to make sure that that you become that person, the inspirational person. I talk to Dan all the time, and we always talk about going back to the basics on why we started this program. And the major thing is we love to help people get in shape. We love to see that we can influence and inspire somebody to bring to bring confidence, to really feel good about themselves and be able to feel that they can accomplish anything, because you can. You can accomplish anything you want. And the first thing to do is just to start off with your body, with yourself. But now that you're at Phase 4, once you're done with this phase and you accomplished that, you want to spread to everybody else and be able to let someone else know that they can do the same. Yeah,
definitely. And I know for me, it was exhilarating Phase 4 to go from being a guy who was like, had abs to being a guy who had like six-pack abs, like defined with like different things. And let me tell you, it's a very, very big difference. Not only like aesthetically, but also I noticed that it was like a really big increase in athleticism as well. This was the point for me, when I was doing like wrestling and MMA, where I would actually become so athletic that people wouldn't want to wrestle with me. Like when I went to like wrestle with someone, everyone would like walk the other way and like pretend they had an injury or something like that.
Dan has to wrestle in another weight class, in a higher weight class, because he outmuscles and outpowers everybody else in his own weight class. And again, that's because of following the phases, because you have such a strong foundation, when you follow through the program, to where, most guys will never even know about how to really get these results. They've never done it, and they had no idea the significance that it affects, especially on functional strength.
Exactly, yeah. And, to go from a guy who was like 130 pounds, like a physical weakling, to, a guy who's like really like overpoweringly strong because of this program, it was, the feeling is really indescribable. And, I definitely want you to achieve that as well.
Yeah, so, and as you can see, it affects every aspect of your life. When you're able to have the body that you want, the confidence and, the attraction to the women and just, influencing everybody around you. It's such an awesome feeling, and, you'll realize that, problems that you may have had before or maybe that you're experiencing is starting to go away. And it's all because, you feel so much more positive now. You're healthy, you're strong, you look in the mirror and you look damn good. It's an awesome feeling, and that energy, goes out of you. It portrays out of you, and it spreads to people around you. Yeah. We see it firsthand all the time with people that we work with, and it's an awesome feeling. So there's a lot of things that will come, when you get the body that you want, and I just want to congratulate you for taking it this far, because it's tough. It's tough, and again, that's why most people don't have the body that they want, because they don't have that drive. They don't have that want, and so But again, now that you're here, we want you to go ahead and inspire somebody else to really go ahead and change somebody else's life too.
Definitely. And I would say, the most life-changing thing for me was that, most people don't really notice about bodybuilding, but bodybuilding doesn't only change you physically, it really changes you mentally. If you've gone through like all these workouts, you've gone through all the Phase 3 workouts, and you're maintaining this as a lifestyle, you are not mentally going to be the same. You're no longer going to accept mediocrity in any area of your life. And if you have the mental strength to go through these workouts, you know that you have the mental strength to go through anything. Your personality is going to be very different. You're going to be much more mentally strong, in my opinion, and it's going to help you with women, it's going to help you in your career. Really, every aspect of your life is going to be improved because of this.
Definitely. I mean, you're going to be happy.
Yeah, I feel like this aspect is really underemphasized. Like, people think it's like really vain to like be this concerned about your looks, but the reality is your life is totally different if you have six-pack abs and if you don't. If you have six-pack abs, you take your shirt off and you're almost getting treated like a celebrity. You know what I mean? Where it's beyond like not being embarrassed to like take your shirt off anymore. It's to the level where it's almost yeah, you almost have like power just by doing that. It's really insane, and you know, I'm really glad that you've had the opportunity to feel that yourself now.
Definitely. So now at this point, once you finish this phase, what I want you to do is to go ahead and take the after picture now, because remember, you got your vision board, you got your before picture, you should have sent that in by now, and we want you to take your after picture and go ahead and also write some type of testimonial, or just write about your story, anything to pretty much let us know, you know, the experience that you had and the results that you had, and anything you want to implement, or anything you want to put in that maybe you think would help somebody else. We can make certain changes, and I want to stress, I definitely want you to go ahead and do this, because again, the reason we got started in this whole program is to help as many people as we can, to influence everybody around us and everybody that's not around us. If you go ahead and send it in, it's gonna be an inspiration to others. For people that go to the website and they see pictures of you before and after, you know, automatically that's gonna go ahead and inspire somebody else. And that's also another reason why we want to go ahead and get the before and after pictures and get the testimonial. So if you can, go ahead and make sure you take that after picture and just write any type of a testimonial you like, and just go and upload it to the forum on this page. And again, you know, I want to stress, I really want to thank you for doing that. It is very rewarding for myself and Dan, and it'll be very rewarding and inspirational to others.
Yeah, definitely. And I really want you to think back to where you were at when you first started this program, where, you know, you wanted those six-pack abs so bad, but you weren't quite sure, you know, is it really possible? And you didn't really believe 100%. And I want to let you know that by uploading that after picture and by writing that testimonial, you're helping somebody who's in the same position to really believe that this is possible and to change their life. All right, so after a guy goes through phase 4, after he's maintaining phase 4 as a lifestyle, what's next for him? What are the next steps?
So I keep stressing about inspiring somebody else. So what I actually want you to do is, after you finish this program and you get the body that you want, I want you to find one person. I want you to find one person, and I want you to go ahead and inspire them to do exactly the same that you did. And, you know, and again, it goes back to, you know, being able to positively influence people around you. You're going to find that this person may be somebody that's really close to you, and, you know, it's probably something that you definitely want, because once you experience this feeling and this accomplishment, it's such an awesome, it's an awesome experience. You want to make sure that somebody close to you can feel exactly the same. So I want you to go out and I want you to find one person and get them going in the right direction. Have them get a six-pack, or at least get them working out and following the program, so this way, you know, they can experience the same thing that you did.
Yeah, definitely. And another thing which, you know, I really encourage everybody to do is to keep studying that monthly content and to keep evolving, because even when you have the six-pack abs, kind of the comparison I make is like getting your black belt in martial arts. Even once you have the black belt, there are many degrees further which you can go with it, and there's no end, you know. Like, even if you have a great physique, it can always get better. I know Mike himself is, you know, still trying to improve his physique and still working really hard on it. I'm still working really hard on it. No matter how much you've accomplished, you know, you can always accomplish more. So I urge you, you know, this isn't the end, this is really the beginning of your journey. Just keep evolving and always keep making your physique better.
Definitely.
And actually, one other thing which you know, is really important is that you really stay focused on maintaining these six-pack abs as a lifestyle. Actually, Mike, can you talk about that? Can you talk about you know, what that's like to maintain those six-pack abs as a lifestyle?
Well, it becomes pretty easy, because remember, you follow the system, you follow the program, and you'll realize that, you know, it's not very hard. We made this program very simple, so this way you can actually do it as a lifestyle. Yeah. So now that you're at the last phase, once you're done, all you're basically doing is, you know, just repeating everything that you learned, and it's going to become habit. So remember, it becomes very simple, and then we break it down. Just remember, you have to get your workouts in, follow the eating system, and get your sleep. That's pretty much it. There's not really much magic after you have it, because it's so easy to maintain. Yeah. Your body doesn't want to change, and so once you change and you went through all the stress and everything like that, your body wants to stay the same. So the longer you keep your six-pack abs, the easier it is to maintain. And you'll find that your body will actually develop a memory. It's a muscle memory, but you also have fat memory. And basically, long story short, you'll be able to maintain your six-pack abs for a very, very long time, just as long as you follow the system, just like you did up to this point.
And the longer you maintain your six-pack abs, the stronger that standard becomes reinforced in your mind, where your standard becomes so strong that you are a guy with your six-pack, and it becomes so totally unacceptable for you to fall below that it's going to be maintained as a lifestyle.
Definitely.
Okay, so let's review. What are some of the key points that guys need to remember about phase 4?
Well, the first key point is to make sure that you're going to go ahead and follow the phase, follow the full implementation of the zero willpower eating system. So this way you can go ahead and get rid of that last few pounds. Also, follow phase 4 as a lifestyle. Make sure you're continuously doing that phase, continuously doing the workouts, and also remember to go ahead and upload your after picture and the testimonial to definitely give us the feedback and to do the inspirational, to be able to inspire somebody else. Also, the most important thing is to find that one person that we talked about and to go ahead and inspire them and give them that same experience that you experienced up to this point, and to change somebody else's life.
Definitely. And I really want to congratulate you on making this far to phase 4, on getting your six-pack abs, and we're going to see you in the workout videos. But I just want to thank you for taking part in this program, and say congratulations, you did it. So be proud of yourself.
Definitely.